Alright, so now that everyone is here, we're gonna pick up from where we left off. So,
You okay, DM?
we ended last...
You okay?
Yeah. Alright, so, we ended the last session. What happened? It's been a little while. The Inquisitor showed up.
Yeah.
Yes.
We
you were
started the
being investigated.
violence. We started the violence. We went in head on and caused a massacre. I mean, when happened we, but
You didn't cause a massacre.
I'm trying to fool the others.
Alright. Well, anyway, outside of the fact that you didn't cause a massacre, you are being investigated. You know that the next thing that's going to happen is the Inquisitor is going to come and inspect the brothel. So we're going to pick up with that.
Okay.
So he gave you a week because he's been waiting for something to show up, which is yes, hang on. I did just get a message. That reminds me. So, last time I said that he did not. He did disappear from town. What he was doing, nobody knows. He was gone from town for about a week. And now he's here to inspect you, and the thing he's been waiting for has finally arrived, which looks like a metallic hummingbird flying around near his head. It's about the size of a hummingbird, looks like a hummingbird, made out of adamantine. Glowing red eyes.
Wait a second. Is it magic driven?
No, it is not.
He's got a mechanical adamantine hummingbird.
Yep.
I didn't know adamantine could fly.
Well, yes, right. They could.
Alright, so yeah.
Fantasy aluminum.
It is fantasy aluminum. A lot sturdier than aluminum, but yes, it's fantasy aluminum. So, what he does is he strolls in there, and without saying a word, waves his finger and sends his little hummingbird to start flying around.
Huh.
It starts moving over to every single corner, every wall, very quickly because it's a hummingbird, flipping and flying, and you see every once in a while it just kind of stares at something, its eyes flash and blink, and then it moves on.
He's taking photos.
So Johnny Walker is gonna be like, "Is this your inspector?"
And the Inquisitor is going to say this is inspecting the structure of the facility to make sure there's not any secrets.
Well, I can't see there being much that's secret about a brothel aside from the obvious.
He says, I don't expect to find anything either. He says it's routine.
Routine.
Well, you are nothing if not thorough in your job. That's why they call you the Inquisitor, right?
He says, indeed. And he says, while my little inspector is going on, there's one other thing. And he says, my understanding is one of your employees was the last person to see the late tax collector.
Is that so? I recall with the first tax collector, she was found in a panic room.
Yeah.
You are literally gonna get her killed.
The last person to see him, but she was also not there anymore when he died. I just want to ask if she saw anyone suspicious.
Well,
he says, "Go get her, please."
I can go get her. I mean, in her line of work, she shoots suspicious people all the time. And the Corporal Johnny Walker would bow and then go get Fable. And then he would explain to Fable what's going on, that he thinks that she might have seen someone suspicious in regards to certain unfortunate accidents.
Okay. So Fable would probably, at this point of the day, be in her room, preparing for the evening's entertainment. Does Corbel bring the inspector up with him, or is she to go down with him?
You could go down to see the inspector. I'm not going to bring him to you because then we can have that conversation.
Okay.
Yeah, he's just waiting in the entryway.
So Fable will quickly look into Mia and make sure that she is flawless as always. And she's going to take a deep breath and put on her best smile and put her shoulders slightly forward and tilt her head down and just go along following behind Corbel, of course, not next. Do I feel it's appropriate to approach him, or am I to be introduced?
Oh no, he's definitely just waiting for you to approach.
I guess Corbel would bring Fable to him, and well, is this the one that you wanted?
He looks at Fable and he says, "She fits the description I was given."
Fable will take a polite bow, a curtsy, and she will not look the inspector in the eye and keep her head tilted down, and she will say, "I am passionate performance, and I am at your service."
And he says, "Let's get right down to business." He says, "On the night of the second murder, you were seen accompanying the tax collector as he left the facility here." And
yes,
he's
the
gonna
man
say,
was
"Oh, sorry, go ahead."
the man was many things. The subtlety was not one of his gifts.
And he's gonna say, "I have been learning that." And he's gonna say, "When you were leaving, did you see anybody follow you?
I did not.
Did you see anybody suspicious?"
Then Fable will pretend to ponder in her head his question, and she's going to say, I'm not sure if it's important." And she'll kind of fiddle with her hands a little bit, like she's thinking about something. It was probably nothing.
And he says, "Please tell me what you're thinking. Anything might be helpful in helping us find and catch these criminals."
Okay. Fable will, for the first time, she'll look up at him, but she'll keep her head tilted down to demonstrate the submission. And she's going to say, "Well, after I left his presence, there was another person on the street. I was nervous because I was alone. You see, I didn't want anything to happen to me in the darkness. But he left me alone. But he was wearing a mask. I just thought it was strange. That's all."
And he's gonna describe the mask that slave number 13 is seen wearing, and he's gonna ask, "Is this the same mask you saw?"
Yes, that's it. I knew it was strange because it wasn't like the parties where they wear the normal masks. It was different.
And he's gonna tap his own mask as he ponders. And he's gonna say, "And it covered the full face, just like mine?"
It did. Not that I took a good look. I just scurried as fast as I could back home. But they seem to be moving with purpose. I know that walk.
And he says, "And I think they're using," and he's gonna turn to Corporal and he's gonna say, "They're using you and your employees as a scapegoat.
You mean someone's trying to frame me?
He says, twice now there have been 2 murders, and in both times your employee was involved. And yet, the employee is definitely not the killer, and neither are you.
Fable, Fable will grab her tail and start to like hug it at the very idea.
But we've only been here for so... We've made no enemies here. Who would do such a horrible thing?
He says, well, the criminal, and he says, but that's exactly why you're an excellent scapegoat. You haven't been here very long. It's easy to throw suspicion on a stranger.
Well, I mean, I don't know what to say. I'm glad we have you on the case, good sir, but I just find this so shocking. I was told that this was a safe kingdom, and yes, there was some trading competition yet, but nothing of... straightforward trading mission.
And he's gonna say, this has never happened before. We are very concerned. And he's gonna say, and you should be concerned too, for your life may also be in danger.
What would you recommend?
He says, I recommend you look into some private security.
Private security. Above table. Is Corbel now the head of the fighting pits, or is that still like?
Oh no, that's the. I was gonna get to that, but yes. You know that the shipment of the slaves that you've inherited, and the deeds and all the money and all that kind of stuff is kind of due to arrive this very day.
It sounds like my
But
Amazon.
yes,
pack.
you are.
I will laugh if the delivery person is someone is like a woman with like a bow and like leather armor. Like that would just sell the package.
Yeah.
Question.
Mm-hmm.
Reading this guy and this conversation that he's having, does his disposition seem calm and genuinely concerned, or does he seem very hard and very like just going through the motions?
Oh no, he genuinely seems a little concerned.
The gasp. It has feelings.
Fable looking terrified at this, at the general idea of what could possibly be going on. She will just look to Corbel with still maintaining the disposition and holding her tail and just saying, perhaps it's time that we go to a different town to keep you safe, Master.
Yes. I'm sure I could find someone to purchase this venture off of me, and I did get a letter of introduction from that nice gentleman at the adamantine mine for someone in the capital. Maybe you're right. Maybe we would be safer in the capital.
Look to the Inquisitor.
Yes, looking to the Inquisitor with a.
He's going to respond, the capital is definitely much safer. The security forces of the government are in much greater number and are much better trained. We have to protect the center of our government first, so they have the best.
Very well then. Just one question, Mr. Inquisitor. How do we get to the capital from here?
He says, the capital is on the far east coast. You take the main road going east, do not take any side paths, and it will lead you directly there.
Why, thank you, good sir. Thank you. I tried getting a map here, and there was a lot of creative liberties in a lot of the maps here. So thank you for your reliable directions.
He nods slightly. And just as he does that, you hear a pretty loud beep coming from the hummingbird that's been buzzing around.
Oh.
Yes, which then flies back to float or to kind of circle around his head, and then he sticks out a finger and it lands on his finger. And he says out loud, "My investigator has found something."
But you said you weren't expecting to find anything.
He says, "And I was not. And yet, we have found something." So he's going to go to where the hummingbird found the thing. He's going to himself.
Okay, sure. One moment. Let me just get the blueprints from this safe behind the counter here. One moment, and I'll come right with you. This is, I got local architect here to do it, and he assured me he did a tip-top job. And yes, lead on, good sir. This is concerning.
Yeah, and as he's walking, he says, "I know the very architect. We hired him to build every single government building in town. He's excellent."
In this town or all towns?
In this town.
Okay. Must be very good at his job then. I mean, or so his reputation. So I was assured that he was good.
That's my understanding. I have yet to deal with him in any significant way. And then when he gets there, he starts inspecting, and he looks at the blueprints you've got, and he kind of crumples the paper slightly, and he says, "There's a flaw,
There's
a mistake."
a mistake. But
says,
he
"What?"
assured me he did a bang-up job.
He's gonna uncrumple the paper that he just crumpled up, and he's gonna point at it, and he's gonna say, "Right here."
What about here?
And he says, "A poor structural decision. A
Oh,
weakness."
I'm sure he was just looking to save some costs here. It can't be that bad.
And he says, "I believe someone could blow this whole building and cause it to collapse just by attacking this structural weak point."
Yeah, someone could this here, Corbo's just going to, go against the wall a little bit, brace himself. What should I do?
And he's gonna say, "I will deal with this. I'm going to go have a talk with this architect."
Okay, should I evacuate the building? Is this gonna come down any moment here?
He says, "I do not think so. Just keep an eye on it and don't let anybody do anything."
Alright. Maybe I should get a padlock for this area. That should do it.
And it's just now that one of the regular guards, not one of this guy's monks, one of the regular guards bursts into the tavern and nearly falls over with how quickly he's running, and he nearly trips over his own feet. And he bursts in and he shouts, "There's been another murder."
What?
Yes, that's right.
There has.
Yep, there has. But not here.
It
In the
seems
Great Port
like
City.
we may have inspired some people.
Keith is
And
going to
immediately-
pull up a
That is,
chair.
of course, out of character.
I figured as much. The way you were speaking, the accent and voice really gave it away that you were, yeah. So yeah, you guys recognize this guy. This is one of the regular guards of town. You've seen him around a lot. He's a regular patron of the facility, and he bursts in and says, "There's been another murder in the Great Port City," and the Inquisitor definitely is surprised by that. He looks quite shocked. I mean, you can't see his face, but the way he moves, that definitely. And he rushes over to the guy and they start whispering. I'm gonna assume Fable's gonna be reading the guy's lips, so I'll just tell you what he's gonna be saying. And
Almost definitely.
yeah, so
Same.
here's
I'm already thinking the kid. What did the kid do last night?
no, it wasn't the kid. So here's what they talk about. So inside in the Great Port City, slave number 13 made an appearance and killed one of the government officials. And the Inquisitor very strongly asks if the governor's okay. The governor is fine. He wasn't killed, but somebody else in his manor was killed. Another government official. And the Inquisitor is now clearly taken a little bit of surprise and is panicking a little bit. So he immediately starts barking orders, and he says, "I have to go to the capital." And he looks to like his monks, and he tells two of them to go to the Great Port City, and he starts telling he tells one of them to scatter the rest of to watch over the most important government officials everywhere, because clearly this slave is quicker than they thought he was. And who knows who's next?
Viva la revolution.
Yeah, and then he remembers what he was about to do, and he runs over, and let me just roll a wisdom save on this guy, because it's going to determine whether he does something dumb or not. Or not wisdom save, sorry, just straight wisdom. Here's his wisdom roll, and this is going to determine whether he does something smart or dumb.
I think he's doing something smart.
That seems likely.
Just out of curiosity,
Uh-huh.
what else am I doing with my luck points today? I mean, really.
You are free to
You
luck
make it
this.
really. That's a really good thing.
You are free to luck this. Am I going to take it that that's exactly what you're going to do?
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Alrighty.
Whoa.
Well,
Oh, pretty
it's
good.
still
Poor
pretty
guy.
good, but it is enough for him to do what he wasn't going to do otherwise. You made the difference of 21. So, here's what he does. He pulls out a tiny little black book, and he pulls out a little seal, and he sticks his thumb, and he sticks it underneath his mask and bites it, and then he rubs some blood on the seal, and he stamps the bottom right corner, and he jots down a little bit of notes. And he says, "Give this to the architect," and it's a very strongly worded threat that he is to fix the issue with this building at his expense and repay you any loss of business while you are out of business while it's being repaired. And that if he
Ooh.
doesn't do a good job, the Inquisitors will be back to speak to him.
Ooh.
And then he leaves.
Thank you, Mr. Inquisitor.
And he
Stay
warns you to be very
safe.
careful.
Stay safe.
And then he leaves. And you can
Quick
see
question.
yes.
Since he just did that whole process in front of me, how easy will it be to impersonate it?
Well, you got the imprint of the seal, and he actually wrote something down in front of you, so you have his handwriting.
Hey, easy peasy, copycat.
And I mean, once we get back inside, I can totally just slip you the letter, and you can examine it all you want.
And then I can just fake what it says, and then he never repairs the damage, and then he gets in shit.
Yeah. So, you guys can see that he's now scrambling to get the hell out of town because he's like, I have to go to the capital.
And we know the
He's
direction of the
panicking. His
capital.
monks are panicking. They're running and scattering. They're going full speed.
Nice.
which is pretty fast.
Are they going?
Yeah. Yeah.
Are they going
And you can
Naruto
see
speed?
even the two that he'd stationed outside your building take off in opposite directions out of town.
Nice.
Well, that solves that problem.
Yeah, that took care of itself. So
How
are
I
we gonna deliver
imagine
that letter to the
monks.
architect, or what?
You just gotta let me copy it first.
Okay, you can
And
make a
study
copy.
it.
All right, we'll make a couple copies for people who want to study it. And so my inheritance that magically wound its way to me should be coming in today. Do we want to start planning going to the capital?
probably a good idea.
Do we want to bring everybody with us, or are we gonna leave the brothel as is?
I think somebody should stay behind to help run the fighting pit stuff, so that, you know, we're still not killing people at the end of those. I think that's important.
So I guess Jewel and I will be staying.
As well as anybody else who wants to participate in the fight clubs?
Hmm.
Pretend to kill people for money for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about right. So we got Jewel, me, Cadence. Would Anthos be interested in staying here?
Not really.
Or Kieran?
I think Kieran should definitely stay here.
I'm shocked you said that. I totally would do that.
Kieran
I-
has. It's
I
probably
think the
bigger to
general
figure friendly up
disposition of this place in general, Kieran is no longer allowed to leave.
The question is, who is behind this murder? Because I don't think it's us.
It's a calculator, probably.
Did somebody
Is
send
someone
a letter?
taking advantage of, or have we actually inspired revolution?
Both?
Okay.
Does it matter? Like, eventually, yes, I want to know that too, but right now, I'm just not willing to look a gift horse in the mouth.
Yeah, no, works for us. We, gets rid of the heat.
Because I am intrigued to see how that will go.
I think we'll keep Cole here with us as well.
That's not a bad idea.
Korth, Lunar, you want to go to the capital, or you want to stay with the brothel and the fight pits?
I mean, we didn't really get the chance to be involved with the brothel, so may as well head with you.
Okay, so Corvo and Fable, Korth, and
Sombra.
Sombra.
I'm sorry. I'm tired. Sombra and Shiva going to the capital. Emo and Anthos going to the capital. Where's Kopaka going?
I'm not too
Nice.
sure. Yeah.
You want to stay and participate in the fight pits, or you want to go to the capital and do stuff there?
Wait, wouldn't they recognize him in the capital?
Yeah. So I
Oh
think
yeah, they probably would. So probably it's better.
it's better.
They recognized him from the port city. That's where he was. He was not at the capital.
Well, you never know. My wanted poster will be there. So remember, I'm the one who caused the chaos in the first place.
There will certainly be less heat if you stay here and pretend to fight people for money.
Exactly. And besides, production.
So we're leaving Keith in charge of the fighting pits. Got it.
This is a very
Sounds like a
dangerous
terrible idea.
proposition.
So, we're leaving Jewel in charge of the fighting pit. And
That still
Keith
sounds like a
is the
terrible
one that
idea.
signs the paper.
Got it. Okay,
Keith
that
is
makes
the announcer. He's the face, but not the actual guy. He's not the actual brains.
There's a world in which I want to see Keith run a fight pit. There is a world I want to see that happen, but this isn't that world.
So, who of you all have seen the movie Snatch?
I've never even heard of it.
Yeah, me
I
neither.
haven't heard of it. I have never seen it, but I do remember
Oh, it's
seeing it today.
basically it's a convoluted heist movie.
Oh, I saw it once upon a time. I don't really remember it. I know I've
Brad
seen it
Pitt
though.
plays this
Think of it.
Irish Romani kind of bare knuckle boxer. talks in this completely incomprehensible accent the entire time.
That sounds like the
And basically is just an absolute one-hit knockout every time.
sounds like entertainment.
Look it up. It's got like these multiple different plot lines intersecting, and
Kind of
I
reminds
can-
me of Lock, Stock, and Two Barrels.
exact same director, crew, actors. Just some of the roles get. It's a very similar plot and premise, with some of the roles shuffled around.
Okay. I'll have to up it on the watch list.
Anyway, so while this is going on, your delivery of stuff finally shows up. There are 4 extremely large crates put outside of the brothel. One of them has fairly sizable holes in it.
Who's ordering pets again?
Keith is poking inside the hole.
No, people, not for that. No, don't be poking your fingers in random holes. Sister taught you that. You know better. Bad.
Get your mind out of there, you pervs.
Yes. Yes, Sister Jewel would have told you exactly which holes to put fingers in.
Alright, guys.
Yes, you would have.
Alright.
So, sake of brevity, we get the crates inside.
Oh, God.
And maybe we have Kopaka open up the crate with holes just in case.
I ain't sticking my finger on anything.
I'm not asking you to stick your finger. I'm asking you to take this crowbar and open her up.
Oh, now I'll use my bare hands. Crowbars.
Yeah.
Right, well,
So when you open that crate, inside there are a dozen slaves sitting in there.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's what I thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how the slaves were delivered in a freaking crate.
Let's get them some water.
Something different.
Keep them somewhere cool.
Yes, come out now, we'll get you some water, there's some couches over there, you can just sit there and relax for a bit.
And let's get Dr. Kieran to look at them.
Keith is getting refreshments.
I don't want to be a downer, but how sure are we that these slaves are all slaves?
We don't know yet.
They're all in the crate. I mean,
My point is, what if someone has slipped in a spy?
Is there a manifesto?
Oh, there's a manifesto.
Well, then let's look at it. See if it's been
What do you
tampered.
mean manifest? Manifesto is more like, Das Kapital.
Yeah, it's a manifest.
We'll check the bill of lading, okay? If you want to get technical, we'll check the bill of lading. You happy?
They didn't actually ship it in a truck, though, did they?
Oh, fuck off!
Hey, I work in that industry. I know full well what a bill of lading is, alright?
I would hope you. I would assume you do.
No, I did not.
All right, I'm bringing it back to this receipt of people and their lives for a certain amount of money. Does this have a list of the property that's presented in front of us?
Yeah. So there's the dozen fighters that. Sorry, say that again.
Does it look tampered with?
No, absolutely not. If anything, it looks unnecessarily, ridiculously red tape and bureaucratic. There's like a dozen different signatures on it.
So, alright, do you want to put in the loot chat exactly what Corval got?
Sure, I could do that. But specifically, so there's a dozen slaves. I've got stat sheets and everything for them. Not that you'll get to see them, but they're all unique and very... These are the champion fighters that you heard about from him. His specialized fighters.
Ooh.
So these are his slaves, and then on top of that, there's an entire crate just filled with the currency of this place, the gold coins with Faust's face on them. There's an entire box just filled with papers about the various things that were left to you thanks to Fable's shenanigans.
As soon as we start looking at the currency, Fable and Jewel get out a black magic marker and we start drawing funny faces on the currency, like fake mustaches and
Stop. It's a crime. Stop. How
You're
could you?
defacing currency.
Technically, yes, that is a crime. Technically. Not that I'm gonna say anything about it. Anyway, so what was I? You got the money, you got the box of papers. Oh, and inside, for some reason, the last crate, there's just a giant crate filled with various types of fur.
Huh.
When you say fur,
Can Keith recognize what kind of fur this is?
Like, this guy went around shearing animals.
so it's for sure animal.
Yeah, 100%. It's not people or anything. It's definitely animal.
We can trade. Well, we are trading companies. We can trade these furs.
So these are
I
not
think that's
pelts.
how they were sent to us.
They're just it's just a box full of fur.
Yes.
Okay, so we need to process all this fur first.
For real,
Realizing
man.
on seeing this that he was indeed as weird as he seemed he was.
He loved fur.
Yes.
I'm gonna make some hats. Who wants to learn how to do pelting? Or sorry, felting.
I mean, we're a trading company. We'll trade what we can.
Wolf. Gonna make some jackets with some of this fur here.
Okay, you have at her, Keith.
Is there a raccoon fur? Can you make a raccoon hat? Can you make
Can I have a Davy Crockett hat?
Come on.
There's absolutely raccoon fur in there.
Davy
Coonskin hat.
Crockett.
Hey, hold on though. Here's the question. Jewel already has a pretty frickin' ball now.
I did make her a pretty baller hat, but you know what I can do? I can put a raccoon tail on that baller hat and make it even more baller.
Well, there's that, and also, you know, we can switch out hats.
That's true. Who's to say that you're allowed to
I
wear
wear one hat in the ring,
Uh-huh,
and I
uh-huh.
wear one hat when I'm doing my other thing.
I like it.
Well, I also could see Jewel just having a bunch of different hats. Why have just one when you can have many?
When Jules doing tracking, she has her Davy Crockett hat on. When Jules in the fight pit, she's got her baller tricord. Yeah, Layla. Why didn't I think of it before?
So yes, that's the stuff you get. And one of the first things you notice is you've got one of the first, like, at the very top of the giant pile of paperwork is the deed to the what was the fighting arena.
Excellent. I'm making my sister a Davy Crockett hat. I'm done carrying it. Anything else involved?
So I'm assuming, sake of brevity, Anthos and Fable go through all the paperwork.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Okay. One thing I wanted to ask, did Anthos get a good look or spend any time observing this Inquisitor person?
Well, he had a mask covering his face.
Mm-hmm.
And he was cloaked, full to head, so you didn't get to see him, but his mannerisms you definitely got a chance to see.
Question. Did I get to see his face since he lifted his mask to bite his thumb?
You did very briefly get a quick look at his face.
Would I be able to draw it?
I would think so, yes.
The reason I would have asked the question, Winnie, is with the purpose of insightful manipulator from the Mastermind Rogue.
I have to talk to him.
It said observing or interacting for 1 minute.
I could have observed him, but like, what do you want to know?
Well, I think it would be useful to know how good his wisdom and intelligence scores are. Because we're clearly going to have to deal with them. We know he's a monk. We know his dex is crazy. But it's a question of how easy would it be to fool him in the future.
Okay. Like, all I can tell you if he's like more wise than me. Is he?
Yeah.
DM?
Hang on, let me see what your wisdom is.
My wisdom is 13. So.
He is more wise than you.
Is he also smarter than Anthos?
What's your intelligence?
17.
No.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh, and I'm gonna give you one other thing. You notice that when he did get nervous or when he was thinking, he tapped on his chin. Like we're on the mask, the chin part of his mask.
Yes. I would like to draw his face in my journal before I don't remember it anymore.
Alrighty. I'll take a quick performance on that. Not
Okay.
too worried.
Let me see here.
That's a good movie.
Which one do I go to for the character sheets?
That one.
This one? Twilight Jewel.
Right there. Now you gotta scroll down. No magic. No.
Oh, no magic. There it is.
Character sheet.
Character sheet. I'm doing it all by myself, Louis.
Well, I mean, you did it before.
Well,
How's
I'm gonna
that?
say with that 18 plus 15 for a 33, you're gonna be able to draw his face.
And my shadowing is on point.
Yeah. So you noticed something about you did notice something when you saw his face. He has a lot of scars on his face, like a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like he's got over a
What I
dozen
see your hair
scars.
with meat grinders.
That blender is not your girlfriend. So are we talking?
And they look.
Okay, go ahead.
It's a mix. About half of them look surgical in nature and are really clean, but the other half look like, yeah, he'd been through a meat grinder and.
Does he look like Freddy Krueger, or?
He looks like Freddy Krueger face fucked the topographical map of Utah.
It looks like an old avocado after another old avocado.
No, it's like
All
an
right.
old avocado had sex, but older, more disgusting.
Not gently.
Like there was something wrong with the relationship, and that was the only catharsis that they could find without violence.
Yeah.
Alright.
Do you like what you see? No.
So that's what you've noticed about his face.
Okay.
He's covered in scars.
Okay. So we got the slaves. I'm assuming we get the slaves like set up in their own like little area.
I don't know. It's up to you guys. Did what you want to do with them. They're extremely obedient.
All right,
Extremely.
Joel, have fun with those slaves.
I think she will.
Rehabilitation.
It's her
time.
show to run now. It's her show to run.
Hey, Cadence, Jewel, you want to learn how to make clothing out of fur?
Out of what?
What you do is you use this needle and you keep poking at it until it becomes solid sheet, and then we can make stuff out of it.
feel like you're missing a few steps.
I don't know. Maybe the tanning process.
There's no leather. It's just loose fur.
It is just loose fur.
So is it like straight off the animal or no?
It's like
Yeah, straight
wool.
off the animal. It's like the guy took shears and just sheared all sorts of animals.
It's different than what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's not pelts. If it was pelt, it'd be much easier. But because it's all loose animal fur, we have to somehow bind them in order to make something useful.
Above table, this is what this guy did with that fur. He had it in that very crate, and he used to just go sit in it.
Well,
Alright.
It is really warm.
That's lame.
That's for certainly unique.
Hey, don't king shame.
King shame all I want. Thank you very much.
It is a very warm box.
Hey, no one's king shaming.
That's
Or
right.
like-
You and
King
Silver
Jim.
always stand up for the side of love.
In the names of the moons, we will punish yous.
Nice.
all right, then.
But what you guys do now is up to you.
So I guess we're gonna spend maybe the next 2-3 days getting the wagons together to go to the capital.
So you guys are going to
Yeah,
take
sounds like a
the
plan.
entire camp over by the lake, over to the capital.
Yeah, that's where our
Okay.
shit is.
Do you guys want to leave the booze here, or do you want to bring the booze with you to the capital?
No, we
or
should
do you
leave
want
them
to leave
here.
it on site?
We should leave them.
Well, how many barrels of Orkarch do we have?
3?
Would it be wise to bring one with us in case we need it?
Or what?
I don't know. Having access to a very potent poison could reveal itself useful in a variety of situations.
It's not booze. It's commercial solvent. Wink, wink.
Yes,
a
commercial
little bit of
solvent.
I mean, it's definitely not. It's definitely the
It's
truth.
very potent sleeping drugs. Take a sip of this and you won't be waking up for the next decade.
Not without a hangover.
I'll remind you of the tagline of that product, Orkrotch, not for consumption.
Not for human consumption.
No, just not for consumption.
Yeah, that's true.
For consumption. Pretty sure people with only like max.com can really reliably save and make the save.
Orcs with maxed out con.
Keith is at this point already branded the barrels as industrial solvent for this specific reason.
I thought we bring the drugged sparkling water so that we're not bringing something that's technically illegal but still makes people feel happy. So it's the same effect as alcohol.
Nice. That was a good idea, Layla. Good job.
Yeah.
Well, if you're bringing Beth with you, should probably at least, spice up the rest of our water supply here at the brothel.
Why? Why?
Because we're not going to have Beth here.
That is all of your drinking water.
That is. That's.
I can desalinate seawater. I can get more fresh water if I want. What do you think I was selling the first days we were here?
How are you desalinating the water?
You boil it! and then you just collect it through the freaking what's it called? The still.
Condenser.
Yeah, you put it through a still, and it'll be fine.
Keith is running a desalination still in a coastal city.
Yes.
I could just see him like just feeding wood into like this giant fire nonstop.
Your point.
I thought he was managing a bar.
You only have to throw it in every like half an hour, and as soon as it's done, you walk back to the bar.
We should have our own clean water supply just on hand, just in case.
Yeah.
Probably find a supplier.
Infiltrate the dealers, find the supplier.
If the doctor goes looking for a freshwater supply, then that would make the most sense. You know, being a doctor, he needs clean water.
Yeah.
What's cleaner than pure water? Distilled water is pretty clean. It's already sanitized. It's literally just condensed steam.
But
It'll be
there are
fine.
more things to your plate. It's not about whether you can do something. Of course you can do that. But why add an extra step in your day when you can just go through normal process? Get a good community name. Be part of the community. Encouraging other small businesses. You know, being a business.
Business.
I start a water distillery. So that
So a
we
water
can...
plant.
Congratulations, you're
And
deciding.
selling salt.
Oh yeah, because you would have.
Yeah, I wouldn't touch that salt.
Oh, trust me, sea
Oh
salt's
no,
good.
you just market it right.
Yeah.
You
What do you
can't
think
be
I
for
do?
human consumption. So
You can totally sell sea salt. What do you think they do at the Dead Sea?
See, the thing is,
What do you
we
think
already
your Mediterranean or Sicilian sea salt is?
This is Keith.
See, the problem is, we're already selling sea salt. Just not that. And nobody wants to buy clean water in a distillery at a brothel. Those are two very opposite ends of spectrums.
Two different facilities. We're not distilling the water at the
all right,
brothel.
you know, I'm gonna have to put an end to this ridiculous saltwater conversation. And have you guys focus on what you're planning on doing.
So the 5 or 6 of us are going to the capital. We're gonna be bringing the wagons. I'm thinking we bring the furs for the purposes of trading, as well as we still have some gems left over.
You're not going to be able to sell that fur raw. You have to process it. Unless you find someone who deals in making wool. Processing wool.
It's the capital. I'm sure there's someone there. If I was gonna find a service, it'll be in the capital. So that's one idea. We saw the gems. I think we just, is it how many days trip is it, DM? Like with the cards?
With the cards, assuming regular rests, I'm gonna say about 10 days.
Damn.
Okay, so we'll be gone for
a while.
Yeah.
That's a long time.
That's just travel.
Are you sure we should split? Maybe we should spend a little time, wrap things up here, and then go all together.
I'm being called up for dinner. I gotta go.
Wait, already? Oh yeah, I forgot we started.
It's 6 o'clock.
Yeah, it's
we
6
started
o'clock.
late.
We
Yeah, I forgot.
did. My apologies. My family obligation.
No, it's not your fault, Ian.
I mean, I was away as well.
Yeah, nothing you can do about
It's Easter.
So we'll officially stop our break maybe in like just a few minutes from now, and then we'll pick up as soon as everyone's back.
Okay, well, okay, so if we're thinking... Okay.
I have never been away from my sister for that long. And right now is the last time I want to be away from her for that.
Okay, so if we're gonna be spending time... Sorry, one moment. Actually, I gotta go for food. Oh, later.
Alright then.
A moment you're like, and then bye. Suspense just...
I must know. I guess I'll
Yeah, I
grate
guess
up
we'll
some
stop.
cheese and microwave it on top of some nachos and call it dinner.
Nachos.
I can assure you I've eaten nachos many unmeasurable numbers of times. They are the best D&D snack. So I think we will stop here, and we'll pick up as soon as everybody's back.
Alright.
Don't murder anything without me.
Thanks for joining us for a while.
Yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I feel like crap all of a sudden.
It's alright. Feel better soon.
Betting it might be the dill pickle.
So we were discussing how we're gonna spend the next couple weeks in town because we can't just up and leave. Do I have it right?
I think so.
I don't know.
Because we should make a move towards the capital, but we obviously can't just leave. So if we wanted to leave, like, do we want to just collapse the business, or do we want to try and groom somebody to take over the business in the fight pit? What are people thinking?
You just cut and run. That'd be okay with me.
It's so stupid if you want to collapse everything that we've worked so hard to build up.
I mean, how are we going to manage it from the capital, though?
Through the mail service.
Seriously, just set fire to everything that we've like spent weeks building would be terrible.
You can get people to manage it.
Yeah.
Can we find?
We've already.
I thought we were just splitting the party again. I thought this was already determined. Like Keith, Jewel, and whoever else is staying at the fucking
That's
brothel,
but, you know.
That's
and everybody else is going to the capital.
Yeah.
It was
Like, what's
up
the problem with
until
that?
it was up until we found out getting to the capital takes 10 days. Just
We-
getting.
Yeah. So,
Yeah. And?
what's the problem with it?
Fable Express.
Well, yeah, Fable's one thing, but that doesn't mean the whole idea is scrapped.
Like,
Fable's gonna have to decide what she does.
Yeah. It's like we can still do it. It's not that hard. You can send mail.
you can keep in contact. We did it with when those people went to the Dragonborn tribes.
Okay.
And when they went to the Dragonborn tribes, they were gone a lot longer than 10 days.
That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I know. I don't like it, but. And I'll never like it, but. And sometimes adults have to do things they don't like.
Okay then, so I guess we have the home team and we have the away team.
Yes.
The only thing that I wasn't sure about is what the fuck are we gonna do about our stupid teenager?
I've been waiting.
Yeah, I would like to check on him.
Yeah, I've been waiting
Leave
for
him
somebody to check on
locked in
him.
the room.
Oh no,
Yeah,
Fable
sure did.
specifically very much didn't lock him in there.
Yeah, sure.
Fable had a chat with him and left the door very much unlocked and made sure he noticed that she left it unlocked. And then I did a little roll for him. And he had an epiphany. So why don't you go on in there and just check on him?
I don't like this.
I'm concerned.
He found out that he liked a different kind of porn. He had the epiphany that he was a furry.
That would work in my benefit, actually. Yeah, I think that as I approach his room, is the door open or closed?
Oh, the door is open, and you hear him like kind of mumbling to himself in frustration, not that quietly.
He's jacking off.
That's what I was gonna say. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I was thinking that, but he said the door was open. Oh.
Oh, yeah, let me see the problem. I will approach the door, and I will peek inside.
Not awkward. Really not.
Flying past your head is a hat, a pair of glasses, and like a fake mustache go flying past your head. And you see him on the ground facing away from you, fiddling around with the room is covered in clothing and hats and glasses and fake beards and all this kind of stuff. And he's just flinging around and he puts something on, he holds a mirror up in front of his face and he's like, nope, and then he tosses it away.
People will giggle at him and say, "This is not so bad that you were so much into fashion."
And he is startled when you say that, and he turns around and he hides the mirror behind his back, and he's like,
I'm very good at sneaking up on people. It's not your fault.
and he says, I thought I would try wearing a disguise, but I can't find one that I like.
Oh, really? Well, that we can fix. You just let me know what you're interested in. But out of curiosity, what might this little disguise be for?
And he's gonna say, I was thinking about what you said before.
Oh.
And he says, maybe I was being a bit of a dick.
Oh.
No, sorry guys, I was distracted. I think I just saw a pig flying.
He had a very good wisdom save. Or wisdom roll, I guess, not save, but yes. And so he says that my teacher wouldn't be very pleased with me.
Alright, sorry about that, guys. I'm back. Did I miss something?
Fable's talking to the elf.
We're done the campaign. Actually,
Don't joke about that. No, Fable is talking.
Oh, god damn it.
He'll be back. There it is. Well done, Paul. Way to turn that around excellently. I applaud you, sir.
Alright, where are we going now?
So, yes, Fable is currently talking with that stupid young teenager.
Oh, that guy.
Is he even really a teenager?
He's like,
He is.
Looks like a prepubescent kid.
He's 17 with the mental maturity of like a 14-year-old.
I bet she was 14.
Although I do miss my age as 14. Good times. I feel old.
Trouble, man.
My very first beer.
Come on.
The very first beer that I purchased with a fake ID.
But yeah, so he tells me that he doesn't think his teacher would like how he's been behaving.
Fable will start to pick up stuff around the room and start to gather them that he has thrown to the side. And she will say,
Can you see?
Hang on, sorry, can you say that again, Kate?
yeah, I know there was sirens going by. So, as I said before,
What did you say before?
I, of all people, understand I understand when you have this anger and frustration inside of you of being so wrong, everything taken from you, have nothing but time to think about how people hurt you. And I can understand the frustration, and I can understand the anger that comes with that. Trust me, I do. But I'm glad, I'm so glad that you have found a way to put that away. Because I think you're better than that. Now, what exactly is it that you want to accomplish?
And he says, I want to kill the president.
Governor.
Oh no, he wants to kill the president, not the governor.
Oh. Cue the president. Fuck his wife, so.
So what were you thinking you were going to contribute to this group to make that happen? I can't wait to hear your creativity.
And he says, I'm gonna go find my teacher. He's way better than I am. He might actually be able to help you kill him.
So you're going to seek him out and bring him back here for an introduction?
Yep.
How long will that take?
Says, I don't know where he is. It will take some time.
You do know how to find him, though.
He says, I have a few ideas. He likely left signs and hints for me. Just have to try and find them.
And why would he help us?
He says, because he hates the humans even more than I do. He hates the way that they've built their society. He wants to break it.
See, you are aware that I will be leaving. So
Says, what? He was not aware of that.
It's time to start scouting out other areas of this. I'm going to the capital. I have things I need to do there. However, my sister will still be here. She is a part of me. She is half of me. You can trust her as you can trust me. Do you understand?
He nods his head.
When do you intend to leave?
He says, as soon as I get the right disguise.
Why don't you talk to your fellow elf about that? He's very good at it. Especially at hiding those. And she points at his pointy ears.
And he even kind of holds his hands up to his ears and he's like, I wasn't sure how I'm supposed to hide these anyway.
Yes. Go talk to her companion. And I'm going to be watching, because that just entertains me.
Yeah, and when he said elf, he didn't know which elf, so he goes to Sombra first.
Excellent! I'm just following behind.
Do I even know who this kid is?
Yeah, you guys all had a conversation with him.
Yeah.
He's the one mistaken you as like one of the Fabio characters from Corn Book.
Yeah.
So what does he say?
He goes up to you and he just says, how do you hide elf ears?
In what way?
He says, what do you mean? So you can't see them?
I mean, you can always wear a hat.
He puts on like a baseball cap and he says, but see, this doesn't work because my ears are still visible.
You need a bigger hat.
Bigger hat.
You're just not helping in this situation. It's funny.
Now you
Isn't
can tell
there
me.
a certain rogue is way more qualified to tell you how to disguise?
Yeah, but she said to go to the elf, so he went to Sombra.
Mabel is giggling right now, and she's
I'm not even a
whispering.
full elf.
You're elf enough.
You're half elf. Close enough.
Mabel just
50%.
out of it says, "I know the other one, but this was too funny to stop you. I'm sorry."
And he says, "Oh."
I'm just
And
gonna
then,
shake my head at Fable.
and then he goes looking for Anthos.
I'm still following behind. I'm blowing bubbles now.
Yeah. And when he
What time of
finds
day is
you,
it?
I'm gonna say middle of the afternoon.
Oh yeah, okay.
He's gonna find Anthos, and then he's gonna say the same immediate thing he said to Sombra. How do you hide elf ears?
Hood.
It's a good question, kid. I don't know how to explain this.
Hood.
I'm just gonna show him how to do it because it's just easier.
Huh? And how do you hide your elf ears?
You're not getting out of this role
Long,
play.
luscious hair.
Long, luscious hair.
I have long hair, and
You
I
sure
also
do.
have what's it called?
Bandana?
No.
Hood?
Fedoras suck. I don't like them. Personally.
You just shot all over Looney's front porch by saying that. You realize that, right?
Nope. I just don't like fedoras. What's it called?
Yeah, again!
Halfling GM gasp.
Oh god.
See, do you take this clear tape?
Oh, you're using clear tape.
Well, it's makeup tape, but you know.
And then he says, doesn't it hurt to have your ears taped back like that?
Sure.
I mean, it's uncomfortable, but like whatever. It's not the worst feeling.
He turns around, like he's just looking around like, really? Is this all I've got? Like, this is the only advice? Is to
We don't
tape
have
my
magic
ears and wear a hat?
Well,
Yeah.
don't wear a hat. You don't have to wear a hat. You
yeah,
just gotta tape them in a way that look human.
Yeah. Fetch.
I really don't know how to describe this for you. You're gonna have to.
He is now picturing in his head the worst pain imaginable from taping the tips of his ears back in like a U-turn shape to the other side of his ear.
Why did you give him like
I don't think
this,
it'd be painful.
a
It's cartilage.
demonstration?
I mean, I can.
I don't think you're better off giving him a demonstration.
Yeah, right now he's looking like, oh my god, this is gonna be the worst thing ever.
Yeah, just gonna demonstrate it. It's not that hard.
Yeah, he's looking at it and he's just like, he sees how you do it, but he's like, this is gonna suck. And he just like sighs and he picks up the tape and he just walks away from you. And he's like mumbling to himself about how this is all stupid.
It's either that or running away from everyone. And, you know, hoping not to get shot.
Getting shot would be very uncomfortable.
It's almost as bad as being stabbed.
And I can attest to both.
So then he goes back to his room and he tapes his ears and he puts on a hat. He puts on a bowler hat and then he puts on a monocle and he puts on a ridiculously curly mustache and he looks at it and says, no, this doesn't look right. What human would actually look like this?
One that likes to play games?
Do not pass go! Do not pay my $40.
He changes it out and he puts on a top hat and he puts on fake mutton chops.
Now we're talking.
Yeah, and like a ridiculously unnecessarily long red beard. And he's like, eh.
You know? Walk the walk. It'll make the part. Stand up straight, lean back when you walk, wide stride. Use your feet
Knowing
needlessly.
like you're more important than everyone else on the road.
Exactly.
He says, "Oh, I'm not going to use the road." But he says, "I get it."
And don't say talking thieves' cants to everyone that walks by to see if they know thieves' cant.
He says, "Right. I talk to them in common, because they're dumb."
Wow, prejudice, but okay.
Hey, it's progress. It's progress, guys. Like,
Think of
take it.
using thief cant as crying for help in the woods. Do you really want to take that chance of what's going to answer you?
Oh dear.
He starts by saying, "Yeah," and then he switches to no halfway through his yes.
Ah, to be young. Right. Well, wait till dark before you go.
He says, "Right, because less people will see me."
God, he's gonna die. I say that out loud.
Yeah, he's gonna die.
He says, "I'm not gonna die, I'm way too good. I'm gonna find my teacher."
Plot twist. It's the Inquisitor.
That would be fucked up.
Be hilarious.
I asked him one more time if he'll tell me what his teacher looks like.
He does. He says, "Okay, I'll tell you." And he describes his teacher. His teacher is also an elf.
Okay.
About 5 feet tall, so kind of short for an elf.
Okay.
He's got long, dark hair.
Uh-huh.
And he's got a very distinctive cut on his face. Shaped like a star.
A star.
Yep.
Jojo?
No, he got it. He got it when his teacher was a slave, and it was a punishment.
Okay. Interesting.
Platinum.
Is he sure that his master's an elf? Like, he's sure about that.
So he's pretty sure he's got elf ears. He says, I think anyway, they look like elf ears.
Uh-huh.
Plot twist. It is the Inquisitor with elf ear prosthetics.
I just don't like that he's short. 5 feet.
He's a halfling.
I mean, Alethar is short.
That's really tall for a halfling, though.
A 5 foot tall elf? That's
pretty small.
It's
not impossible.
It's a flag. It isn't impossible. You're absolutely right. It's just also okay. Yeah. Okay. I'll ask him to keep it. Don't. I'll ask him to watch out for it. Not to tell his master anything, and not to say, hey, are you actually an elf? But keep his mind open. Yeah, I guess I would just tell everyone what he plans on doing and that I'm okay with it and that he seems sincere about it. He does seem sincere about it, right? Are you gonna make me roll inside?
No, this kid's not very good at hiding how he is. He's very sincere.
Gunter is just gonna pat Fable on the back. He's like, "You're a miracle worker. I'm shocked anyone managed to get through that as a kid."
You mean Corbel.
Oh, did I? Oh, fuck.
You said Günther.
Fuck my life.
And I'm the one drinking wine. Anyway, I am a miracle worker, that is true. I also don't find it very difficult to put my feet in his shoes. I was angry, frustrated, and 17 once.
You were 17?
What do you mean was?
Believe it or not, all of us were 17 when Sombra. Even I.
Anyway, yeah, I'll just tell people what the plan is and what we're doing with them and make sure that he's supplied properly for, like a few weeks of rations and water and make sure that he doesn't die.
Of the most basic stuff like starvation.
Or the elements.
I asked him how long does he, I know he doesn't know how long it's going to take, but rough estimation, is he thinking days, weeks, months?
He says, I bet I'll find him in a couple of weeks.
Couple of weeks.
Do we also want to send him with a little bit of traveling money?
No.
Well,
I mean, we could. We have plenty of money.
Yeah.
He's going to have to live on his own.
And the last thing we want is him, stealing food because he's hungry.
You could give him the funny that you threw on.
That one.
Sorry, I didn't catch that. The money that we what, Korth?
That Fable and Jewel were throwing on.
Sure. I mean, yeah, we're flush with cash, so.
We do have a lot of money, and it doesn't seem like he's gonna need much. Money seems to go a long way around here.
Yeah, we don't want him starving and then stealing food and then getting more attention drawn to him. Okay.
And then, of course, also getting ourselves ready. Especially since we're not going to be taking those caravans from our camp out of the woods, I'm assuming.
I mean, I'm assuming those caravans are going to bring him back to the brothel, because there's no point having, Oh, wait, no, because there's that camp with the,
There.
The rescues, right? The fight...
That one.
Yeah.
Bring them with you.
Right now, that is an outlook. So we're not using those. So we're going to have to rebuy all new beasts of burden and carts and all that jazz.
Do you want to bring those 2 slaves with you? The rescues.
I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, we could use some muscle. We could use the extra muscle.
Bring them in as hired men.
Why add unnecessary heat to our situation? Those guys are supposed to be dead.
But the capital doesn't know about that.
We don't know if there's anyone in that capital that will recognize them. They were fighting champions. Who knows what fighting pits those people have watched, or what fighting pits they had before they even belonged to that guy.
Just a point.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Okay. All right. Unnecessary heat. The only other thing that I'm thinking of is the Inquisitor did recommend to Corbel to get some security for himself.
Which he technically did. We just got it mailed to us in a package with, holes drilled in the side.
Right, so maybe rather than those at the outposts, we get, I don't know, maybe a pair of guards from, like, the random fighters that we got. The ones that see the most likely to be able to keep their mouths shut.
That's fair.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. All of these guys look like they can keep their mouths shut.
Okay.
However, I can tell you some about them if you want to make your decision based on that.
How many are there?
Sure. Well, do they all have like a specific class, or?
Oh, they sure do.
So, what do we got? What do we got here, Looney?
All right. So the first one you see is there's a Triton. His name is Spitz,
Nice.
and he is a monk.
Ooh.
He'll be so good at pushing out the body.
Next you've got Goblin, whose name is Slipknot, and he's a fighter.
Whatever.
That's an amazing name for a goblin.
Yeah. There's a Dragonborn whose name is Snork.
Nor. What color is
He is a green Dragonborn,
Oh.
and he's a ranger.
Oh. Thank you, Keith.
he? Would be good for the outpost.
Yeah.
Then there's Water, the lizard folk. Again, another monk.
Aww.
Linear, shouldn't you type that in like Dungeons and Dragons like main chat instead of the in-game chat?
If I type it in the main chat, it's gonna get buried. If I type it in the in-game chat, it's not gonna get buried.
I don't know. I also think it's fine. It's pretty. I'll pin the first message has that, but it is kind of in-game knowledge anyway. Then you've got Volk, who is a I don't know what it was. Volk, hang on, let me open the sheet. Oh, that's right. Volk's a bugbear.
Oh shit.
Ooh, a bugbear! I love bugbears.
Yeah, and he's a barbarian.
That makes sense.
Yep. And then you've got Kirk, which is a Yanti pureblood.
Tell me he talks like this.
He does now.
That was everybody's intention.
They're a paladin, so they're kind of not as useful as they would normally be because they can't use their paladin stuff. Yeah.
Interesting though. What's his god?
He is a god, or his god is the god of the sun.
What is he doing here? He's obviously not local if he's a paladin.
Yeah. So he was here looking for somebody, and he thought he could blend in because he's a pureblood, and with the right disguises, he thought it'd be okay. It didn't work out.
No, it did not.
Yeah, now he's been captured.
Who's he looking for?
He's looking for somebody who pissed him off really, really badly.
See, now he's starting to sound like a Yonti.
Yeah.
I asked him if he's ever heard of the orator deck to Anaconda.
He has not. He has been here a long time.
Alright.
And he's not much for he tells you he's never been much for his people's god.
That's some things that we have in common.
Yeah, so he has no idea who you are.
Excellent. Well, he's not a bad choice either to let in on the secret, considering he is a paladin to the god of the sun that was captured here. He's not broken yet.
I mean, but he's also a paladin who can't draw upon their holy power for anything.
Yeah.
They can still fight.
Yeah. He's not useless. He can still put on armor and wield whatever weapon he wants and wield a shield, and he can throw that real hard.
Is that everybody? Is that everybody, or are there
Oh no,
more?
there's more. There's Snolo, who's a kobold.
What color?
Ranger. I'm gonna say red.
Okay.
Yep. There's Nightingale, who's a Kenku.
You know what I'm gonna ask.
Raven.
Okay.
Also a ranger.
Oh.
Then there's Teslin, agile fighter, and she is a minotaur.
Ooh.
Yep.
That's cool.
An interesting name for a Minotaur.
Sorry, the red kobold Snowa. What class are they?
Ranger?
Oh, yeah, ranger.
Oh, okay.
What is the Minotaur?
Barbarian.
Fighter. Oh, you said oh, okay, he's a barbarian. Okay.
And it's a he, right?
No, she.
It's a she.
So Snow is the ranger and Teslin is the barbarian.
Yep, and Nightingale is also a ranger.
How big is she?
She's quite large. She is an impressive 8 feet tall.
I mean, if we wanted muscle and intimidation, I think that's our ticket.
That's a big girl. I like her. There is something about Minotaurs. There's just their stature is just so intimidating. You can't help it.
Yep.
Then there's an orc, Maud the Merciless,
Oh yeah.
and he's a fighter. He's got one eye, he's got 2 teeth, and he looks like he would kill you just by looking at you.
I'm gonna test something real quick. I'm gonna go up to him. And I'm
Oh,
gonna.
Maud is MOD.
Well,
Sorry, what was that you were gonna do now? You're testing him?
I'm gonna go up to his ear and I'm gonna whisper a really sad story to him.
Why?
And the second it doesn't, you're like 8 words in, and he's already starting to cry.
Do it! My work is done here.
what the fuck just happened?
It's a title. It's very not who he is. Then there's Curtly, who is a Tortle. Yes, a Tortle barbarian.
Jesus Christ. So it's like we're at a zoo and we're seeing all Chris's favorite animals.
And the last one is Merpip Flukestone, a gnome.
What kind of gnome?
He is a deep gnome, in fact. A
He's
Zifkin.
Civil?
Yep.
What's his class? Ranger?
Fighter.
Also, Red, get that. Red, can you, like, delete that? Because that's in the way of everything, all the other text. Thank you.
Out of curiosity, does he speak common?
He sure does.
Is there an Underdark entrance in this kingdom?
Who knows?
I mean,
No, I'm asking the simple bit.
Oh,
If he's
yeah.
so big.
Oh, yeah, there is one. He tells you there's one.
Wait,
Really?
wait, there's an Underdark entrance on an island formed by a comet?
Yep.
Why wouldn't there be one? The Underdark's underneath the sea too.
Is there magic in
It's
the
the
Underdark?
He says there's magic if you go far enough down. Gotta go really, really deep, though.
Ooh. This.
He says that's why he got caught, is because his people suddenly couldn't use magic anymore. For some reason. So they came up to figure out why they couldn't use magic.
So you were more afraid to go down than to go up.
Yeah.
Why? What do you guys know that's further down that you were so afraid that you'd rather chance up here?
He says, mind flares.
Yeah, there's some very scary things down there.
Yeah, okay.
Oh no.
Really?
He says, yeah. I don't know why you'd ever want to go down there.
Because you're stupid.
Bringing a mind flare up here to distract the capital.
No.
No.
That sounds like the type of thing that could go bad like 5 different ways.
Oh yeah.
Try 100 different ways.
That's as tempting as it is, because man, what a weapon that is. That's a floodgate that you can't open, but you can't close again once you open it.
Yeah, and that's assuming the mind flare doesn't just turn on you and kill you.
Interesting though. I wonder how deep you have to go for the magic to kick in again.
He says it's pretty deep. His entire city where he's from is in the no magic zone.
Is it only Sicklebin down there and my players, or are there others?
Oh, there's other things down there. All the usual things you'd expect in the Underdark. But
Are you guys all pissed off right now?
he says anyone trapped in the no magic is pissed off.
Excellent. I like people that are pissed off at something
You
that I
think you can
off at.
draw us a map?
Call me a sadist.
He tells you that the entrance is just a couple days outside of their capital. They got it heavily locked down. Yeah, they have a mine out there, and they accidentally dug down a little too far, and...
So out of curiosity, are you or if you were to go back down there with us, would that stop us from getting eaten?
Says it would stop my people from killing you.
Could you take us to them safely? Would that be a capability?
He says, I guess I could. But you have to get through their whole mine first.
And will that be a problem?
He says, well, look at it this way. When I came up, they captured me pretty quickly.
Do you guys have any connections with the drow down there, or the kobolds down there, or?
We leave each other alone.
Would you be capable of working together to stop this anti-magic field?
Probably. I'm sure they're as angry as we are.
Oh boy.
This opens more doors.
Nobody suspects the Underdark to come up and get you.
Can they dig a circle around the entire city?
Dig a tunnel.
Drop it just a foot, enough to shake everybody.
Oh boy. Why?
You wanna undermine the capital.
Yes. Or at least a very specific building. Just to shake it, shake things up.
I will remind you, there's a very solid, thick layer of adamantine underneath the entire continent. The only reason the Underdark has been connected with the above is because they dug through it in their mine. It's the only way down and up on this entire continent.
No, but what this opens up though is if the Dragonborn at the border were clamoring for war and they sent a lot of their soldiers to deal with the Dragonborn, and then they were worried about attacks on their adamantine convoys, they'd have bigger guards around their convoys, which would mean their capital would have less soldiers in it. So if an army of Duergar, Drow, Snifflebin, and Mykoners would just show up out of nowhere, they wouldn't have much of an army to go up against.
It would be the perfect surprise blank. Who would suspect an army of Drow and Siflebin and shit to show up in the middle of the night and take you from a battlefront that you didn't know existed. That.
We're definitely gonna have to. All right, we're definitely bringing him along.
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming with us.
Alright, so you're taking Merpip with you.
Yep, we're taking Merpit. I also have a feeling we're gonna be taking Teslin and Kurtley.
As long as one of those is the Minotaur, I agree.
Yeah, Teslin's the
Teslin.
Minotaur, Kurtley's the Turtle, and then
Okay.
to round it off, I think we should bring a monk with us. Do we want to bring a lizard fork or a triton?
Is there more than me?
No, those are the 12. That's
I
exactly
want the Triton.
12.
I want the Triton
Why-
on the docks.
I agree. I don't think that bringing the Triton up to the mainland for travel would be in our best interest. We're not utilizing him properly.
Alright. We'll bring...
fishing unconscious people in the river after the fight pit.
Exactly.
Be utilizing him properly.
That way, I don't have to sneak out to try to fetch him.
The other thing I'm thinking of is if we're going to the Underdark, should we bring the Kobold Snolo who is a ranger?
Go up to the Kobold. Are you from the Underdark locally as well?
He nods.
Oh yeah? Do you know where your kin are?
He shakes his head.
Shakes his head yes or no?
No.
No. Why is that?
He says he got lost.
You got lost.
At the wrong time. He happened to be lost, they dug through, they saw him, and they just kidnapped him.
Lovely.
However, you do speak Undercommon.
Yep.
Your dark vision is impeccable.
Yep.
And you are friendly within the ranks of your race, correct?
He says for the most part.
It's not like you were kicked out or anything, right?
He says, define kicked out.
Well.
Banished? Never allowed to return?
He says, oh, I'm allowed to go back. They'll just kill me if I go back. But I'm allowed.
Yeah, you're banished. Yep, you're banished.
Oh boy.
You're banished.
Okay, maybe bringing him along isn't a good idea.
Yeah, I agree. Out of curiosity, because I have to ask. I don't want to, but I can't help it. What did you do?
He says, I might have played around with the chief's daughter, and you didn't like it.
Oh, we're dead. You're dead, man. You're dead, man.
Yeah, we're not bringing him along.
Yeah, we're not bringing them.
You know,
I
we
feel for
do
you.
need more variety.
I look right to Sombra.
But
What?
you know why? You want me to guide you in the Underdark?
No, I think she's looking at you because of the similarity of your circumstances.
I think I found your spirit animal. It's this kobold breed. Hey!
Alright, so we're going to the capital with Water the Monk, Kurtwee the Barbarian, Merpitin the Fighter, or Merp the
No,
Fighter.
Merpip. Merpip. P-I-P.
Merpip.
Is that the Minotaur?
No,
Murnipar's Teslin.
God, I'm gonna have to make nicknames for all of these people.
Did you want to bring the Kenku with you?
You guys could probably make better use of the Ranger at the outpost.
I agree.
We've already got Snowle.
I think it's
Yeah.
time. Oh, go ahead.
And you can have a second Ranger. Which Ranger won't be as useful inside the city.
Hey, look at me. I'm a ranger inside the city.
But are you
Oh.
useful?
Also, Snork, the green dragonborn, asked if he's allowed to go home.
I mean, It's a fair question. I also
Oh, I got zinged.
Ouch.
I also
Yeah, oh, low blow, man. Low blow.
I also personally think that maybe the Dragonborn should spend some time with Kovaka.
He actually asked if he can go home.
Do you know where his home is?
Yeah, he's from the Dragonborn clans. He got captured.
You can contact him.
You can go home, yeah. Go, you can go home.
But you know, the great thing about him is that out in the open, people think that he's our slave. Nobody knows that we're with the Dragonborn. So we can send him as an errand boy back and forth, welcomed in the Dragonborn clans, and welcome in our front door, and nobody will bat an eye about it. Just saying, as a runner, it doesn't get more perfect than this.
And this
he's
is
a
where
ranger. That's literally the perfect role for a runner.
he's just figuring out. He's like, wait, what do you mean you're with the Dragonborn?
Meet your war chieftain, as he's pointing to Kopaka.
Yes. We have your whole clan, and the rest are waiting for you. Gathering up.
I mean, we've all been talking as equals in front of you guys for like the past 10 minutes, so it can't be that much of a surprise.
This guy's pretty sharp. He's from one of the smarter clans. And he's like, so, you went through, you beat a trial, and you convinced them that war was the right call?
Yes.
He says, I don't know how the heck he did that, but okay.
Okay, yeah. It worked out. I had to formulate a plan. And gather up as much as we can. Alright.
So he says, you're letting me go home then, basically.
Yeah.
On the condition that from time to time you come back here to bring us messages from the Dragonborn.
We need to keep up the appearance that we own you. Otherwise, people are going to get suspicious.
He says, I see.
Not to mention, we're also going to be, having somebody needing to run, supposedly dead people that have lost in the fight pits and send them to the Dragonborn lands.
And once again he says, and you got them to agree to that?
Yeah.
Yep.
We can send you to the... You remember where the magical, or at least the sacred pond is, right?
But yeah.
Of course I know where our sacred pond is.
We're using that as our small little outpost for our rescued dead slaves,
And then
quote-unquote.
he immediately says, you're not, like, defiling it or anything, right? He says, because, seriously, the guardian of the sacred pond is kind of a real bitch if you mess with it.
Oh, we know. We met her.
Yeah, we met her. So.
I can assure you that anything anyone does around that pond is only with the intent to make it better.
Let me make it in it.
Including the bridge.
He says, well, you guys are pretty good if you didn't die and you went to the pond. He shrugs and he says, okay, whatever, I'll deliver messages.
And people. Don't forget the people part.
Right. And he says,
We're
right.
going to be getting you and the Trident to help us out with that. Isn't that right? Your name is Spitz, wasn't it?
Who? The Green Dragon?
The Trident.
The Trident? Yeah, the Trident's...
So basically, we're basically in a giant, like, meeting room discussing plans openly amongst all of our
all
new
of these
recruits.
guys have cued in that you're clearly not actually what you appear to be. When they were given to you, they thought they were just getting given to a new slave owner. They've cued in pretty quickly that obviously that's not the case. Yeah, so he's heard, he's in the fighting pit, so he's already, based on the conversation, Spitz has realized that you are not killing people. You are pretending to have them die.
Yeah.
And he basically says, so you want me to save people from drowning, is that right?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, that was my job And you can imagine how well these muscles do for carrying a troll. As Keith is poorly flexing.
Corbel's just feeding his 2 dragons that are on his shoulder right now.
So he basically says, so I don't have to fight anymore and I could just go swim around in the water, and every once in a while I drag somebody out from drowning. Is that right?
Yeah.
It's not too bad.
Also, if you're feeling enthusiastic, I'm just while you're down there, if you wouldn't mind keeping track of, I don't know, ship routes, submarine routes, what their numbers are, what they've available, maybe what the weaknesses are, and, just get very general information.
Also, are there any Triton colonies underwater near this island?
He says there was.
Oh.
Keyword on was.
Let me guess, got destroyed?
Yep. Well, half of them died and half of them got enslaved.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That sucks.
He says, yeah, I'm not a big fan of humans. And then he looks at Keith and he says, present company excluded or accepted.
That's understandable. Hey, you don't mind like running errands to a local ship out on the open seas right now, do you?
He says, if you could tell me where it is. You know how hard it is to find one ship out in the ocean?
I think we got some messages out to them. We can probably also just like send the Kenku out to go and take a look to see where our
Kenkus can't fly, right?
I do not.
Well, they can't.
Okay. We have dragons.
They're not. Kenkus are not like the Aarakocras, so.
Yes. Kenkus are allowed to have fingers, and like their wings kind of are arms with just feathers on them. Whereas Aarakocras have the full-flown wings on their back and have arms and hands. That's the trade-off. But
we do have dragons.
Kenku are really good at imitating voices and sounds.
In fact, Nightingale starts mimicking the rest of you because he's bored.
Continue, boy.
So, either way, we've got Cole to help us find the ship just by flying up and looking around. And then we can send Spitz out to go and coordinate with the Yanti ship with Mr. T.
Honestly, I'm surprised they're hidden for so long very well.
They're pretty far off the coast.
Yeah, they're staying outside of the no magic zone.
Which is like 2 or 3 days like sailing, so.
Yeah.
Question. Besides your Triton community, was there anyone else down there?
Oh, he says all sorts of stuff down there.
Yeah. Anything that, is powerful and pissed off?
He says, do you consider merfolk powerful and pissed off?
We can recruit them?
Does he say, do you consider Koatoa pissed off?
They are pissed off all the time, yes.
We've met Koto.
Isn't the fault that Koto just angry at the world?
Yeah, a little bit. But they're extra angry right now.
Can they be reasoned with? Would you be able to approach them and, convince them to maybe, join forces with everyone else that's pissed off? Or would you just, probably not come back with one of your camp?
He says probably that one. He says, I think if you could trick them into hurting the humans, that would work.
Interesting.
The other artifacts and talking to him.
Yeah, is there anything that they treasure?
He says, oh, they treasure a lot of stuff. I wouldn't know it. But they treasure it.
Oh, yeah? Anything that would be easy to take?
He says, I don't know. I guess it depends on who's doing the taking. He says that their greatest treasure are the bones of a gargantuan sea dragon.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Interesting. What about the merfolk? Can they be reasoned with?
Oh yeah, they're like the allies of his people.
Excellent. So let's start getting in contact with them too.
He says, so basically I get to swim around in the ocean.
Yes. You know, do what you're good at.
He says, oh, I haven't done that in so long. He's like already like shaking, he's like wiggling his feet and his hands like.
Aww. Anything big down there right now?
He says, define big.
Oh, I don't know, like leviathans, krakens, dragons.
Oh.
He says, well, there's a gigantic dragon turtle, a nest of hydras that have figured out how to completely breathe underwater.
Corvo's eyes goes up at the name of Dragon Turtle.
What's the dragon turtle like?
Like a dragon.
From his people's experience, it's always hungry.
Is it?
Maybe we wore a couple submarines to it.
No. Oh, he's awake. Don't worry about talking to him yet. You know, he's awake right now.
He says, well, that won't be very hard. The fish will tell me that.
Excellent. Say, these slaves have got to be very productive.
Yeah.
You guys are great.
Yes, well, we were the champions of that guy.
Well, I think we can all agree very heartedly when I say, fuck that guy.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna miss him. You guys seem a lot better already. You know, let's go back in the ocean. So he says, I'm right that you're planning on like ruining these humans' whole thing, right?
Well, we're just gonna rid the really bad ones that are convincing the stupid ones that are just following like sheep that, you know, those guys are really bad. And then we're gonna help turn things around.
And
So you're
and
gonna
rescue
ruin the whole
the
thing that they're doing.
Oh shit.
Mr. Popularity over here.
Yeah. So once he basically confirms that you're planning on ruining their whole thing, he's like, well, that sounds like a lot of fun.
Excellent. Now remember, you can't hate and can't have the whole kill all humans thing, because you are gonna have to work with the ones that, you know, are left.
Oh, he says, to be honest, I think when we're done, my people are just gonna go back in the ocean and go away. Far, far away.
Excellent.
I think that's a good plan.
Yeah, that works for me.
Right, do we want to talk to the Tortoise? Or the Kenku? Or...
Does anyone else
So-
want to take it?
Keith is going to actually investigate all the rangers that's going to be left behind. Basically trying to figure out what their strengths and utility are.
to the Kenku, the Kobold, and the Dragonborn.
I believe the
Now-
Dragonborn is headed out with you guys.
No, he's headed
No,
to the
he's not.
Dragonlands.
Okay.
Yeah. So, because I'm sure you're curious, Snork is a monster hunter.
Ooh.
Yeah. And the other two are both hunter rangers.
So, Keith's kind of rangers.
Yes.
Ooh. So they'll be good for scouting missions.
I guess, though one of them hit the kobold Snolo. His territories that he's an expert in is the Underdark. He's not so familiar with the not Underdark stuff.
Yeah, but that's what the Raven's for.
No, he's actually used to mountainous stuff. Not that they can't do stuff, but it's more that you know, they don't excel at the kinds of areas you're in. Not that they can't do stuff.
Rangers.
So Keith is basically just going to be talking shop with all the Rangers.
Well, they each have their own view of how things are supposed to be done.
Which is
They're
why
very
it
different.
makes it very interesting.
Yeah, well... Yeah, well, Snork is all about... Like I said, he's a monster slayer. He excels on killing the big things, which, considering where he's from, is a very useful skill. But, like, in terms of, like...
How many of these guys are local, and how many of these guys are captured visitors?
About half and half.
Who else is local?
So let's see. You know that Merpip, the Deep Known, is local, as is Curtly the Turtle. Maud is also local. He was born here. He was actually born in slavery. Teslin is not local. She was captured. As is Nightingaler, not from local. Solo's local. The Yonti's not local. Volk the Bugbear's local. Water's local, and then Snork is also local, and Slipknot is not, and Spitz is like in the ocean, so I don't know, local, not local, however you want to interpret that.
So does that mean
Local
that there's
waters.
a local population of turtles and bugbears somewhere?
No, they were born into slavery from captured slaves.
Ah, okay. Okay.
So this is all they know.
Wait, are turtles better in the water, or or are they like land turtles? I forget. I don't know about turtles.
Yeah, they can hold their breath for a long time, but they don't get like a swim speed or anything.
Oh, okay. They're more based off land turtles. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I think we're good. So we're taking. All right. So for the home team, we've got the Goblin Slipknot, we've got the Bugbear Barbarian, we've got the Yonti Paladin, and the Orc Fighter, and then the Deep Known Fighter. Those are all going to be in the home team, plus the Rangers.
Are we going to introduce the concept of a orator to the Yonti?
They don't care.
Not yet, no.
Okay.
Yes. Right now, this guy does not follow that god, and he has openly talked about how he's not fond of that god. So to say that I am a representative of that god and the people that he thinks are wrong would not help us very much in this situation.
Nope.
Okay.
However, I am gonna go up to the Minotaur, and I'm gonna have big sparkly eyes. I'll be like, hi.
She's gonna like say hi.
You're really cool.
I am who?
She says I am.
Yeah. You're just cool. People's tail will swish. And she's just kind of like awestruck by this guy. It's like I've heard of minotaurs, and I've never met a female minotaur, and this is just crazy.
But here's my number.
Wait, didn't we meet Minotaurs back at that Labyrinth?
Those were 1 assholes and 2 all male.
Oh.
What's the general disposition of this girl?
Honestly, she seems like she's pretty extremely uppity, like upbeat and positive person.
Aww. She's like a cow. So what do you do? I like literally have my hands together in front of me, my tail swishing behind me. What do you do? What do you do? What do you...
She says, well, to be honest, back home I didn't do anything interesting. She says, I was a farmer.
Was.
Does she have a weapon on her?
Yeah, she does.
What does she have?
A gigantic hoe.
What? A gigantic what?
Like
A gardening tool.
Oh, a hose. I thought you said a different.
Oh, he said a hoe.
Like
Oh.
H-O-E, hoe.
Oh.
Like the tool.
Yeah. Like the tool.
I really should stop thinking about a different version of that, but okay.
I know. It's distracting. Now I'm just drawing a picture of the Minotaur, just like using her hoe in a garden and surrounded by sunflowers that are as big as her, with a big smile on her face and like a big straw hat on. And
That's a pretty good depiction of her, yeah.
Wow.
And then I give her the sketch.
Yeah. She says, how do you know I like sunflowers?
Hamster. Or let's just.
Big like you. They're probably the only ones you don't have to bend down to check out and smell.
She says, that's right.
Yeah.
She says, and this is the worst vacation I've ever been on.
Yeah,
I like
it's
her.
kind of work for us.
Fable just looks to the group and points at the Minotaur. I like her.
Corbo's still feeding his little dragons.
Everything. Feed your dragons. How to feed your dragons.
Feed your dragon. So which one of you humans, and Fable does air quotes, are going to go get us some carts and some beasts of burden for this?
Well, you could have Keith steal them 1 cow at a time.
Corbo will get up. I'll talk around town and try to start purchasing some animals and some carts.
Yeah, it's not very hard. You can find them for sale.
Suppose we can get Teslin to help with moving one of their carts, right? No offense.
Are you just suggesting that she just grabs a cart and pulls it?
Maybe. Minotaur are really tough.
Oh, hell yeah.
She's not a beast of burden. She's a person. I mean, unless she wants to.
She does not. That's the kind of stuff the humans have been made her do before they made her start fighting.
Okay.
She's a pacifist by nature.
Oh.
She happened to go on vacation for a nice ocean voyage, and they ended up in the wrong place.
Supposed to be a 3-hour tour.
Yeah, and then she ended up being enslaved. And she's just had the worst vacation ever since. Her exact words. Had the worst vacation ever.
So they forced you to fight?
She says, well, yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, we kind of want to use you for security, so let's see your scary face. Scary face.
And she goes like, ah, it's not very scary.
to Warface! I haven't seen a Warface! You scared me! Look at it!
Those Kopaka want to actually do Warface training with their new recruits.
I think Shiva would do a better job at Warface training.
Oh, me?
Yeah. You have the highest intimidation ever and scolding.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Fable takes another makeup, just makes angry eyebrows on the Minotaur, and is like, there we go.
I mean, what do you think of it, Shiva? You're the one who convinced a lot of imps. And I mean convinced.
Okay, well, to be fair, I didn't want to kill them or hurt them, and at the time, I didn't know they were being abused by demons, so...
They're still demons. It doesn't really matter. Just kill them.
And no!
No.
Not any... No. No, Anthos.
So you're saying if an imp walks up and stabs me, I shouldn't kill it?
The imps wouldn't do that to you. Not all of them would anymore anyway, because I'm their mistress.
But
But I mean, you can act in self-defense if someone is trying to threaten your life, and I guess that would also include an imp too. I mean, you don't have to kill him.
Kill!
While Corbel is out shopping, he'll be bringing the lizard folk monk with him, and the bugbear, and try to get to know them better.
Oh, alright. They were both born here in slavery, so, you know, this is a nice change of pace. Water hates his name because everyone thinks he can breathe underwater way better than he can. I mean, he can, but they mix him up for like something that's fully like all the way underwater as opposed to being an aquatic creature. And he kept having to tell people that's not what he was. He wasn't like a fish person.
So what you're saying is you want a better name, don't you?
He says, "Yeah, actually, I do want a better name."
How does he look?
Yeah, what kind of lizard is he?
I'm gonna say he's a gecko.
Oh, cool.
Gecko.
Gecko. The fresh maker. Don't you dare say Jar Jar.
No, I'm not lame.
For some reason, Pepe came to mind.
Pepe the frog.
Who's a gecko?
Kermit.
How does Gordon sound?
Yeah, he doesn't seem to like that one. He says, "Wait, can I pick my own name?"
Yeah, sure, if you want.
I'm surprised you haven't done it in the first place already.
Now he's just like, he kind of like puts his head down and he's clearly thinking what he's gonna name himself.
One
Not really
ally
paying
made
attention.
And you never walk 1,000 miles.
So you'll find out what he decides his name is gonna be later.
John Cena!
No. He's not, he's a monk.
Paka, we already have a horse named John Cena. You already named him.
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Evidently, he doesn't see him.
Yeah. Gecko. Name for a gecko. That's not Jar Jar. Greg.
Geico?
I was thinking Greg.
Geico.
Greg. Clark. Krillin. Yamcha. Raccoon. Because of
I don't
Ryan.
know, Krillin sounds like a better name. I don't know why.
Krillin?
I just said that as a joke, but if it actually sounds like a better name, I'm shocked.
It does.
Oh no.
Richmond?
Yeah.
Don't worry, he's gonna name himself. I'll tell you what his name is later.
Okay. Alright, let's continue. Where are we?
Again, the carts.
Basil?
No, let's continue.
Basil.
Fable is
Drop it. I said drop it.
Fable will be packing her stuff and Corporal's stuff to make sure that he's packed properly. And also probably talk to Anthos about if he's thought about the last conversation that we had about what his plan is when we get to the capital.
No thoughts. Head empty. I must grow.
I will remind you, sweetie, that this is where your parents are.
No thoughts. Head empty.
Oh, whatever.
Maybe it's his way of getting into I don't know, rogue mode or something.
Sure.
Yeah, sure. It's totally not the player hasn't thought
All
about it
right.
at all.
By the way, I will tell you what the lizard's name is now. That's his name. That's what he's changing his name to.
Oh my god.
What?
I'm so scared.
The vid. What the?
And he knows Basil. Wow.
Okay, and also, what's with the picture, Red? What the hell is that?
Mention that the Minotaur is a farmer.
Oh god.
I know what that is.
That looks like a cow lady, not a minotaur.
What do you think Minotaur are?
No, you got that wrong. Minotaur don't have people faces.
Yeah.
Yeah, they
That's
have
a cow
both
face.
faces.
That's not a cow face. Does that cow look like it says moo?
Also, I gotta say those ears are really huge.
Well, maybe they rule 34 in a way, yeah.
But yes, the lizard, he's named himself Lizardo da Vinci.
This is a minotaur.
About that.
That's a minotaur.
Yeah, alright, Leonardo da Vinci got it. And then, what about the bugbear?
What about him? He tells you it's straight. He was born here, he was raised
Straight.
here. He'll probably die here.
That's unfortunate.
That sucks.
Let's see to it that let's see to it that you get out of this alive, and then we'll bring you to another continent. You'll get to see something else.
He shrugs. He says, honestly, I didn't even hate my life as a slave that much. Well, I kind of like fighting.
Well, as long as you like fighting, we're good. Anything else you like aside from fighting?
He says, not really.
Violence in movies and sex on TV.
He says, actually, wait. He says, don't make me work in the brothel. I don't want to do that.
Oh.
We won't.
Not in our attention, but okay.
We won't.
What about in the kitchen?
Keith, you have kitchen staff.
Yeah, that's more like a female minotaur.
There are multiple people in our own group that can
Besides,
cook, too.
we're shopping right now.
Yeah, so I think like Corbel's the only one there.
Wait, only from where?
We're going shopping together. Corbel's
Yeah.
getting carts and draft animals. And carriages. And blackjack. And hookers.
Should Fable be concerned?
Excuse me?
Okay,
your
fine.
Russians burn
Maybe
you.
just blackjack, not the hookers.
Or maybe forget the whole thing.
Yeah, maybe just forget the whole thing.
That's what I thought. Now we'll go back to packing your suitcase.
Thank you, Fourth Wall Fable. Alright.
At some point throughout the day, I will check on the young man and see how his disguise is going.
He's topped his disguise by now adding a cane to it, so now he walks around like he's super distinguished.
Excellent.
And now he's playing around with accents, but they're pretty bad.
Oh, we can start somewhere. I will actually. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll come and check on him with crackers and peanut butter, and and I will take him for a moment and make sure that he watches my mouth and my tongue and my teeth position, and I will help him learn how to do accents, especially a British one.
Can I have a wisdom roll from you on that?
Are you sure that that's necessary?
I'm sure.
I am very good at it. What was the check that you wanted?
Wisdom.
Wisdom. Here you are. Just a second here. How do I straight wisdom for you?
Click on the word wisdom.
Oh, I see. Click on the word. There we go. And you know what? Just for shits and giggles, I'm going to luck it. Oh wait, that's technically rolled with luck anyway, because I don't have advantage on it.
I haven't seen the rule because apparently I'm getting a red box now. Bad rule 20. Bad.
15.
Yeah.
I rolled a 15.
Alright, well, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna roll this kid's intelligence to see how this goes.
Wonderful.
He's dumb.
He is dumb.
I never saw that one coming.
11.
Oh boy. Did you seriously build a rogue with a -2 to intelligence? Is that what I'm looking at?
Yes, that's
Wait,
where
that means his int score's like what, 7 or 6?
It's 7.
Oh yeah, 6 would be -3.
Yes, this kid is dumb.
I'm gonna luck that roll. That's weird.
Apparently. Oh, I did. Wait, sorry. I did a 13 -2 because I'm an idiot. I did the roll above.
There was no roll involved. You just said 13.
Yeah, I did. Hey,
So
you met your thing.
That's much better. Thank you.
Yeah. So here's what happens. He starts playing around, and it sounds a little off. It sounds like he has a slight speech impediment, but otherwise he's doing the accent right.
Well, at least that's much better. And I just keep talking with him like that to help him hear the vowels and to hear how different words are enunciated.
Yeah, and you can tell that that he's now decided that he's actually kind of enjoying this disguise thing, now that he's actually accepted the idea of it. You know, in that way that, like, idiot teenagers will be like, that's dumb, I'm not gonna do that, but then they actually do it, and it's like, oh, it's actually not bad.
I'm going to tell him that this suits him, and that I'm glad to see this better part of him. And then I'm gonna boop him on the nose, and I'm gonna leave him alone.
Alright then. What's Jewel up to? You've been kind of quiet this session. What are you doing?
What's going on?
Actually, I'm not gonna lie, Nathan went to bed with a bit of a headache.
Oh.
You okay? No.
Seems to be a thing today.
Well, he was up way later than normal yesterday, I do know that for a fact.
Okay, that's understandable.
He's right here, though.
Hey, Nathan.
Hi.
My life.
Just not anything that really involves me.
You know what? Why don't I, for you, well, I'll talk to you over the week and figure out what Jewel's up to during this. How's that?
That's better.
Is there anything that you wanted to do, honey?
Yes. You also play StarCraft with me. Kidding. I'm not even good with multiplayer in StarCraft, anyways. Anyways, back to the thing. And I miss you.
Well, is there anything else anyone wanted? Because if not, I think we might call this session here. I know it's a little early, but feels like a good stopping point.
Yeah, because I guess the next thing is like the road towards the capital / whatever else happens in town.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of fun times going towards the capital.
Honestly, I don't know what she was gonna be doing right now.
Are you coming with us, or are you gonna stay behind?
Oh,
I thought you were going with.
yeah, I was coming with you.
All right, good.
Yeah. I'm just preparing for the dirty then.
Okay.
And Kieran's just being doctor and gossip girl.
Yes, he's just being the doctor. The resident doctor that literally most people come to at this point, probably.
Yeah.
Does he have a screwdriver if he calls himself the doctor?
Keep your Doctor Who references out of here. And, yeah. Considering, like I said before, the previous Doctor was doing shit like leeching and bleeding for the poor and the slaves, and for the rich, they were just getting, like, whatever drugs he could import. They weren't getting good medical care.
So he just continues doing that. Like, always.
Alright then, I think we're gonna call it this week, guys.
Alrighty.
Alrighty then.